Hello, everyone, and welcome to another IFN interview. I'm Leonardo, and today I'm joined by Alaena Vampira. How are you doing?
Uh, Hello. I'm doing good. Sorry, I'm in the car right now. We're driving,
No worries.
so it might be a little shaky, but
hmm
we're
It's
here for the
fine.
ride.
Of course. And yeah, so you were originally meant to fight on the Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall card on June 13th against Jade Jones, but that fight is now off. Can you explain to the fans why this fight has been called off?
Yeah, so I was super excited to fight Jade.
hmm
I actually was approached to fight her for her first fight on Misfits. And it was a 3 week notice, so I was like, it's got to make sense for me to be able to take that
Yeah,
fight. And unfortunately, it didn't make sense as far as the contract and everything. And I got offered again for this one, which I was like, hell yeah, I'll have a full camp, everything's great, we'll do it. But I didn't get the contract until after the fight was announced, and the stipulations and everything in there were exactly the same as
hmm
the original one from the one in March.
yeah,
So I tried to find a way to make it work. Basically, it's just the purse was not it. It wasn't what I had anticipated or had hoped for being on Misfits for so long. And I fucking love Misfits.
yeah,
They're, I mean, they're my soul. Like that's where I started all of this. But
hmm
it just didn't make sense for me to be able to do it. So I have to do what's right for me and respect myself. And there's a lot of risk that comes with boxing, and
yeah,
if
of
it
course.
doesn't come for the right price, then I don't think that it's right for me to do that. All the cards were stacked against me. Like, both
hmm
times Jade was on the A side,
Yeah,
and I it's in basically almost her hometown, and everything is lining up in her favor, which
yeah,
is fine by me. But for me, I'm like, okay, where it needs to make sense
yeah,
money wise then for
of
me
course.
to take it. And I'll fight her in the future if it makes sense.
Of course,
But
yeah.
yeah, it had I known it was going to be the same as the fight I was offered in March,
hmm
I would have probably said no. So I do feel bad that
Yeah.
it was announced and everything, but I had no idea. So
Oh, damn.
I hopefully the offer is there in the future. And if she gets a killer win again and
hmm
the fight is, you know, ramped up to be great, maybe in the future. It would have been sick to fight on that card. I've been
Of
training really
course.
hard, and I'm like, a lot smaller than I was before. I'm fighting at
hmm
135. I walk around at that weight. So it's a totally different type of camp for me now. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to cut weight to drastic extremes like I did for to get to 145. So, I was feeling sharp, I was feeling strong, I was feeling quick, fast, everything was feeling so good. It's unfortunate, but I believe that there will be opportunities in the future for me to be able to showcase, the type of fighter that I am now.
Yeah, of course. And also, your fight is no longer happening, but she is fighting against a new opponent now, against Federiquita, I think. What are your thoughts on that
Mm-hmm.
matchup?
I think it's going to be an easy win for her. It's another highlight reel for
hmm
her, and they want to build Jade. Like
Yeah.
Jade is, you know, who they're looking to make their star. She had a knockout, so that's like looks huge for her. And
hmm
it will probably happen again, which will be sick. It will be great for Jade.
Yeah.
But I think that our fight would have been a really good fight. I think it would have been a banger. I think we would have went all the rounds.
hmm
And it would have been a good, tough opponent for me and for her.
Yeah. And if you could still fight her in the future, how do you see that fight going between you and Jay Jones?
I think it would go, it would be by decision. I'm not
Hmm.
going to sit here and talk like, oh, I'm going to get first round knockout or, whatever, because I know that she's going to be a great fight. Like, why
Yeah.
would I talk like that? I know that she has power and she has, you know, ring knowledge. And
Hmm.
as she's learning and growing, she's just going to become better and better. And I think both of our technical abilities, like, would be great together in the ring. I think that,
Hmm.
obviously I'm going to win, but I think it'll go the distance for sure.
Nice. Okay.
Fight of the night, I is how I would see it.
Awesome. And now let's talk about your most recent fights. So your most recent fight was on Creator Fight League against Jenna Vincent, where you got the TKO win.
Yes.
What were your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
on getting back to your winning ways?
I was stoked because, I lost to Julie, and then
Hmm.
I had a draw with Loza. And I was approached by my manager and Mams about switching camps
Hmm.
and, going somewhere that is strictly focusing on competitive boxing. So I've been at Fortune Gym ever since. It's been like 2 years,
Hmm.
perfecting my craft, becoming better, learning all the technical things. And I was excited to get back out there and show what I can do. And I'm so glad that I got a second round TKO, but at the same time, I wish I had a little bit more time to showcase everything that I've been learning.
Yeah,
But I'm
of
not going to
course.
complain about having the second round TKO. That was sick. What a way to come back. But
Hmm.
there's been so much that I've been working on and becoming better, and it's it's exciting to know that one day I'm going to be able to show that
Yeah,
I've been
of
working so
course.
hard.
So, as you mentioned, you also had a fight against Loza, which was your previous Misfits fight, where the fight ended up in a draw. How do you feel about the draw?
Um, in the moment, I thought that I won the fight, but after I reviewed the tape, I know that I didn't do enough to push the edge. There
Hmm.
was a lot of missed opportunities. There was a lot of moments where I'm like, why didn't I capitalize on that? Um, but my ring knowledge wasn't what it is now. There was a lot of things that I didn't know
Hmm.
then that I know now that I wouldn't make those same mistakes again. Same thing with Poca. Like there's a lot of things that I was missing there that could have pushed me a little bit more, but
Yeah,
it's all in the past and we learned from it.
of course. And what do you think that you have improved on the most since that fight?
Definitely my technical abilities and coming in and staying in the pocket
Hmm.
and you know fighting at range, staying in the pocket, not running or chasing somebody around the ring, just really having my combos down and knowing when I need to be defensive, when I need to be offensive. And yeah, it's a totally different, I'm a totally different type of fighter now.
Awesome. And now, so you previously fought Julie Polka on Misfits 11 for the Cruiserweight title. What did you learn from that fight, sharing the ring with Julie?
Oh, that's where I learned everything.
Hmm.
Julie's got power like no other. It was so unexpected. I definitely, you know, thought that she was going to be an easy fight for
Hmm.
at that time. And we all need those reality checks.
Yeah.
And I was so new to the game. Like that was my third fight ever. And I was like, okay, I got to prepare for everyone. Like they are the best. It doesn't matter. Like you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. And, she definitely showed me that there's levels to this. And I'm grateful to have shared the ring with her.
Okay. And yeah, what are your thoughts on her move to now most valuable promotions as she's set to make her pro debut very soon?
I'm stoked for her because she's been looking really good and she has that. that quality to, be an insane fighter, and
Hmm.
especially with the power that she has. And I saw she's been training with Katie Taylor's head coach, so she's
Yeah.
getting the best of the best, and I'm excited to see her fight some people that are, super skilled, and I think it's going to be sick to watch her over there. I hope she grows to become something huge.
Awesome. And yeah, who do you think she could maybe face on the MVPW4 card?
I don't know, because I don't know what weight they're going to have her fight at. Because right now
Mhm.
she's super trim, but she's so muscular. So I don't know if
Yeah.
they're going to keep her in that like 140 range or where they're going to put her.
Because yeah, I think her last fight
Hmm.
was like cruiserweight. I'm
Yeah.
guessing she might still fight at that weight, but I'm not really sure yet.
So I don't know
Yeah,
what weight she's going to be going for, but it would be sick if she would go up and fight Clarissa Shields. That would be just so tight.
that would be interesting for sure. But yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
big step up as well because she went from like the crossover boxing to now the pro side. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
very intriguing for sure.
Hmm.
And yeah, the Misfits women's cruiserweight title is currently vacant. So would you maybe want to have the chance to fight for that belt again?
Yeah, I would. And I actually thought that the fight that I was doing for this was going to be for the belt. There must have
Oh,
been some sort of misunderstanding, the fight with Jade, because it's 5 rounds, and usually the 5 rounds means it's for the belt. But
yeah.
apparently it's not. Um, so I thought that this fight was going to be for the belt, which was another, thing that I was confused about. But I would, if the belt goes down to 135, I want to fight for that. 145, I don't know if, I'm sorry, not 135, 130. Wait, 130, yeah, 135 is
Yeah.
the fight. I don't know if 145, if I would do that again, because I am so comfortable at my weight right now. If
Hmm.
anything, I would go down to 125, and cut to get there. I think that I could be a monster there and fight some of those girls.
Okay. And yeah, as you just mentioned, that you're planning to fight on the 135 weight. Who is currently on your hit list?
I would love to have the Jade opportunity again in the future if that's what ends up happening. But
Hmm.
man, do I really just want to fight Carla? I also want to beat her to pieces. Sorry. Sorry, I do. I want to fight Carla.
Hmm.
I think that because she fights at such a low weight, I think, and God, I hate that I gotta talk like this, but I think she thinks she's better than she actually is. And I just want to beat her ass. That's all.
Awesome. Outside of boxing, we know that you also make music. What are your plans with music right now?
Right now, I don't have any plans with music. I have put that a little bit on the back burner. There's a
Hmm.
lot of things, changing in my life, and I don't know if you guys know this, but like I'm going to be 37, so I'm old. But yeah, I I have been in the studio, and I have some songs, like I have some
Hmm.
songs that I've been debating putting out, and if I do a fight, I would plan on releasing them, but that would be, probably the only reason why I would put them out right now. I'm not
Okay.
The music scene right now has not been intriguing to me, because
Hmm.
it just seems very overrun, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I'm not really liking about it that's kind of pushed me away from it. But I love creating music, and I
Hmm.
have it, so why not
Yeah,
put it
of
out?
course.
But if I were to do it, I would have a one of these songs be one of my walkout songs, which would be super sick.
Nice. And would you maybe make a diss track about one of your future opponents?
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. I totally would.
I mean, yeah, if you like walk out to that song, that would be so funny.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea, actually. They
Yeah,
better all watch out, because I'm coming for them.
of course. And now, how do you feel about the current state of the women's division on Misfits?
Um, I think that it's in a transformation stage. I mean, all of Misfits has been in a little bit of a transformation stage since KSI hasn't been around, and
Yeah.
it looks like things are heading in the right direction. And I'm excited to see like where things go. I would love to see more women's fights on the cards. Like,
Hmm.
that's part of the reason why I felt like I needed to stand up for like myself and get
Yeah.
what I felt like I deserved, because there's never any women's fights really. I mean, compared to the men's fights on the cards, it would just be nice to feel like there's a little bit of equality. And you know, and it's not anybody's fault. There's just not a
Yeah,
lot
true.
of females willing to do this.
Hmm.
But because there's not a lot of us, I want to make sure that we're all, you know, being
Yeah.
treated
And
fairly as far as, our pay goes.
yeah, of course. And I feel as well like one of the reasons why there are also less Misfits fights of like females right now is because we're also losing a lot of fighters like Elle Brooke, Julie Polka.
Right. But I know some of these girls, like they've been wanting to get back in there. Like Jenny's been wanting to get in there like bad. And, she would be great on these cards. And
Yeah.
I think if they could open up some spaces for the females, that would be sick. I know like the fans maybe are annoyed by that, but they're always going to talk shit in the comments. And then like, but if you get some good fights, female fights
Of
on there, and
course.
people were stoked to see me and Jade fight, and they're
Hmm.
bummed that it's not happening and she's fighting Frederica, I don't know how to say her name, because it's not going to be the same level of fight. If it's a good fight is a good fight. And
Yeah.
whether you have 30,000 followers or 100,000 followers, people want to see a good fight, not girls that are just going to slap their hands around.
Yeah, of course.
So Jenny versus somebody would have been sick. Anybody that is going to showcase some sort of like talent, and people
Hmm.
just want to see that. So, I hope that in the future that Misfits does something like that, and, adds more good fights for the
Yeah,
for the ladies.
of course. And now, when can we expect to see you back in the ring?
As soon as I get that offer, at this point, I'm a free agent, so
Hmm.
it could be anybody as long as it makes sense. Like, going to the UK a a whole thing for somebody in the US. They got to
Yeah.
take the UK taxes. I got to pay gym fees, the traveling, the bloating on the plane, then you got to cut that weight. You're only there for 4 days,
Yeah.
and there's a lot that goes into traveling over there. So, the US would make more sense for me to do something over here if,
Hmm.
I was offered something that was similar to what I was offered for, the fight in the UK. But if I'm going to do something over in the UK, it's got to also, make sense for me with, you know, the purse and everything. So as soon as something comes my way, I'm down. I'm ready. I'm down. I'm training.
Hmm.
I want to do this, but you know, now's the time. I just gotta respect myself a little bit and do what's right.
Of course. Yeah.
So hopefully fucking soon, man.
Of course, because yeah, I know there haven't been that many US cards for like Misfits recently, but I do think
Mhm.
they're planning to have more
Right.
cards there soon. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it
Yeah.
would be
Whether
great
it's
for you
Misfits, brand
to
risk,
fight
like
there.
whatever, I'm in.
Awesome. And now finally, what is your message to the fans who are supporting you?
My message to the fans that are supporting me, I just wanted to say thank you for always believing in me and being excited about the fights that I'm on. And I promise you that when I come back, I'm not going to disappoint, and
Mhm.
you're going to see blood, and the vamp will live on.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed and see you all next time. See you.